Welcome to Sarah History. Stories of wars, remarkable people, powerful empires, forgotten places, and the extraordinary events that shaped human history. March 15th, 44 BC. Rome was about to witness one of the most famous betrayals in history. Julius Caesar had survived wars, political enemies, assassins, and years of civil conflict. He had conquered vast territories, defeated powerful rivals, and returned to Rome as its most powerful man. But on this morning, Caesar did not know that the greatest danger was waiting inside the Senate. The morning began quietly. Caesar was staying at his residence in Rome, preparing for another day of political business. According to ancient accounts, troubling signs had surrounded him. His wife, Calpurnia, had experienced disturbing dreams and reportedly urged Caesar not to leave home. There were also warnings from priests, omens, and people close to him. One warning became especially famous. A seer named Spurina had reportedly warned Caesar to beware the Ides of March. The date had finally arrived, March 15th, yet Caesar continued with his plans. The political atmosphere in Rome was already dangerously tense. Only weeks earlier, Caesar had been declared dictator for life. To supporters, he was the man who had brought stability after years of civil war. To many senators, however, Caesar's growing power threatened the Roman Republic itself. Some feared that Rome was moving toward monarchy. A group of senators began secretly plotting his assassination. Among them were men Caesar knew personally. One of the most important was Marcus Junius Brutus. Another was Gaius Cassius Longinus. The conspirators believed Caesar had to die before his power became impossible to challenge. On the morning of March 15th, Caesar eventually decided to leave his residence. Ancient sources describe attempts to warn him. One man reportedly placed a written warning into Caesar's hands, listing the danger surrounding him. Caesar took the document, but never read it before reaching the Senate. As Caesar traveled through Rome, the conspirators were already gathering. Their target was approaching. The meeting was not held in the modern Senate building most people imagine. Instead, the senators were meeting near the Theatre of Pompey, in a complex associated with Caesar's former rival, Pompey the Great. The irony was extraordinary. Pompey had once been Caesar's ally. Later, the two men became enemies during the Roman Civil War. Caesar defeated Pompey and became the dominant political force in Rome. Now, near Pompey's complex, Caesar was about to meet his end. When Caesar entered the meeting place, the conspirators moved closer. The plan was simple. They would surround Caesar and use a political petition as a pretext to approach him. A senator named Lucius Tillius Cimber reportedly stepped forward and pleaded for the return of his exiled brother. Caesar refused. Cimber then grabbed Caesar's clothing. That was the signal. The assassination began. A dagger struck Caesar, then another, and another. The attack quickly became chaotic. Ancient sources differ over the exact sequence of events, but they agree that Caesar was attacked by a large group of conspirators. Caesar attempted to defend himself. For a moment, the most powerful man in Rome was fighting for his life against men who had once stood beside him. Then Caesar saw Brutus among the attackers. Later generations would remember the famous words associated with that moment, "Et tu, Brute?" But the exact words Caesar spoke are uncertain. Ancient writers provide different accounts, and the famous Latin phrase became popular much later. What is known is that Caesar eventually collapsed. According to one tradition, he fell near the statue of Pompey. The man who had defeated Pompey now lay dying beneath the image of his former rival. The conspirators had believed that Caesar's death would restore the Roman Republic. Instead, they had opened the door to another period of violence. Caesar's body remained where he had fallen. The assassination shocked Rome. The conspirators had killed Caesar to prevent one-man rule, but they had not created peace. They had created a power vacuum. Caesar's supporters, especially Mark Antony, soon turned public opinion against the assassins. Then came Caesar's funeral. His will revealed that Caesar had named his grandnephew and adopted son, Octavian, as his principal heir. The young Octavian would eventually become Augustus, Rome's first emperor. The republic that the assassins claimed to defend would soon disappear. Julius Caesar had died on March 15, 44 BC, but his death did not end his story. It transformed Rome. A dictator was murdered in the name of the Republic. The Republic survived only briefly, and from the blood spilled on the Ides of March emerged an empire that would dominate the Mediterranean world for centuries. Caesar entered the Senate as Rome's most powerful man. He never walked out. The Ides of March became a symbol of betrayal, ambition, and political power. More than 2,000 years later, the final day of Julius Caesar remains one of history's most dramatic moments. If this journey through history was worth remembering, subscribe to Sarah History, like the video, and leave a comment with the historical moment that should be explored next. More forgotten stories, powerful people, ancient worlds, and extraordinary moments from history await in Sarah History.